Lesson 2-4, solve equations with two operations. So we're going to continue our work with equations and using PEMDAS, or in this case, since it's algebraic equations, we're going to use the reverse of PEMDAS. So reviewing the following properties, so the multiplication property of equality, division property of equality, addition property of equality, and subtraction property of equality. All those mean the same thing in the concept that whatever you do on one side of the equation, you have to do on the other side. So multiplication and division are inverses of each other. Addition and subtraction are inverses of each other. So whatever they're showing you, you use the inverse to undo what they're showing you in the equation, just so you can get the solution for the variable. So let's take a look at some examples. Here we want to isolate the variable first by adding or subtracting, and then our last step is going to either multiply or divide to get the variable completely by itself. So this first one, 2x plus 5 equals 105. I want the 2x by itself, so the opposite of adding 5 is subtracting 5. So I subtract 5 on both sides, and I'm left with 100 on the right equaling 2x on the left. The opposite of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2. So divide everything by 2. X is going to equal 50. Next here, I need to get k divided by 3 by itself. So I add 0.5 to both sides. And now I'm left with k divided by 3 equals 5. The opposite of dividing by 3 is multiplying by 3, so I multiply both sides by 3, and k is going to equal 15. Next, here I have 11 minus b equals 32, so I'm going to subtract 11, because that's the opposite of adding 11, and I have negative b equaling 21. And then to get b by itself, I divide by negative 1. B is going to equal a negative 21. Next, here I have fractions. I could get rid of all fractions too, but I'm going to get, let me just get the w over 18 by itself. So I'm going to add 1/9 to both sides. And this is going to give us w over 18 equaling 7/9 plus 1/9 is 8/9. The opposite of dividing by 18 is multiplying by 18. So if I multiply this side by 18, 9's divide out. 18 divided by 9 is 2. The w is going to equal 16. Next, follow the same steps. So here I need to combine like terms first. So 2p minus 7p is negative 5p. And then I'm going to add a 1.98 to both sides. And I had negative 35 over there. So negative 35 plus 1.98. That's going to give us a negative 33.02. Then I can get p by itself by dividing by negative 5. And when I do that, p is going to equal 6.604. Next, I have 2/3 h minus 4 equals 14. I add 4 to both sides because I want to get the p or the h by itself. I am left with 2/3 h equals 18. Multiply this side by the reciprocal, which is 3/2. Multiply this side by 3/2 as well. Divided 2 here, divided by 2 here. I'm left with 9 times 3, and h is going to equal 27. Next, here I want to combine like terms on the left side, or on the right side. So negative 9 plus 7.7 gives us a negative 1.3. So I have negative n plus 8.4 equals a negative 1.3. I'm going to subtract 8.4 on both sides so I can get the n by itself, or the negative n by itself. And negative 1.3 minus 8.4 gives us a negative 9.7. Now I can divide by a negative 1 on both sides, and n is going to equal 9.7. Next, here I'm going to subtract 1/12 on both sides. I'm now left with z over 24 equaling 4/12. Now to get z by itself, I'm going to multiply by 24 on both sides. Divided 12 here, divided 12 here. I'm left with 4 times 2. Z is going to equal 8. And our last couple examples. There are 3 consecutive integers in counting order whose sum is 84. What are the integers? So if it's consecutive, so I'm going to have x as the 1 plus x plus 1, and then it's going to be plus x plus 2. Those are the 3 consecutive integers, and they're going to add up to 84. So 1x plus 1x plus 1x is 3x. 1 plus 2 is 3. And this is going to equal 84. So now I subtract 3 on both sides. Now left with 3x equaling 81. So I'm going to write this down over here. 3x equals 81. Divide by 3 on both sides. X is going to equal 27. So if x is 27, the next number is 1 more, which is 28. The next number 1 more than that would be 29. So the 3 numbers would be 27, 28, and 29. And if I were to add them up, 27 plus 28 plus 29 gives you 84. And our last one here. The measure of the larger acute angle of a right triangle is twice the measure of the smaller acute angle. Find each measure. Well, we know that triangles add up to 180, and if it's an acute triangle, or acute right triangle, one of the angles is 90. So I know that there's 90, and then I know one of them is x, and the other one is twice that amount, which is plus 2x. And this has to add up to 180 because all triangles add up to 180. So I'm going to subtract 90 on both sides and then combine like terms. So I have 3x equaling 90. To get x by itself, I'm going to divide by 3. X is going to equal 30. So that means one of the angles is 30. The other one's going to be 30 times 2, which is 60. And we already know the other one was 90 because that's the right triangle. So that is our lesson on solve equations with 2 operations.